Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Today is Friday, March 31st, and we're here in White Plains. I'm joined by Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins, by two members of the Westchester County Board of Legislators, Erica Pierce and Catherine Parker, and representatives from the transgender community, because today is Transgender Day of Visibility, International Transgender Day of Visibility, and it is recognized on this day, March 31st, and we in Westchester County have come together to mark this day with both proclamation recognition, and also signing an executive order against discrimination to those in the LGBTQIA plus community. We're joined specifically, and you're going to hear from both of them in a second, by Joanne Principali, who is a member of our LGBTQ Advisory Board, and then also the Executive Director of the Loft, Judy Troilo, both of whom are leaders in the community, and we very much want to hear their comments on this day. We're joined by other active members of the Westchester community who are here, and we're very happy to be able to be at this moment in time. In signing an executive order, what we're going to be doing is making a statement, as we have in other areas: anti-Asian hatred, anti-Semitism. We have upcoming executive orders that will cover other categories of protected concerns, those who are Hispanic, immigrant, those who are Muslim, to show that Westchester County is a mosaic. We're a diverse county, and we want to respect all of the people that live in this county. For today's purposes, we want to highlight those in the transgendered community to let them know that they here in Westchester County are accepted as brothers and sisters, all of us together in this county, and to make a strong statement about that. I'd like to invite first Joanne Principali, who's on our LGBTQ Advisory Board, to share some of her thoughts on this day and in terms of the issues before the community. Joanne.
Thank you very much. Today is the annual International Transgender Day of Visibility, and on this occasion, with the stroke of a pen, our county executive will be confirming Westchester County's continuing commitment to be a leader in the nation, confirming our county's commitment to protect the rights of all our inhabitants to be free from bigotry and persecution. With so many parts of the country turning toward enacting barbaric laws to discriminate against tiny minorities, to deny medical care, to persecute those who are different, and to destroy educational institutions by teaching only whitewashed history, banning books, and banning culture. Westchester County stands as a beacon of light and hope, nurturing a better, stronger, and more diverse society. We know this is not only good for our minority communities, it is also good for business. Our county's commitment to diversity means that businesses that locate here or are located here are assured of access to the best, the brightest, the most creative, and the most talented workforce in the nation. Thank you again, Mr. Latimer, for underscoring this commitment.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you for your leadership over the years. And I do want to highlight that while this day of transgender visibility has been celebrated internationally, Westchester County has had a long bipartisan commitment to recognizing the equality of all of us in this community. We date back to Andy Spano as a county executive and Andy O'Rourke as a county executive that both had liaisons that reached out into the LGBTQ community. And with the tremendous work of our Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins and the late Lois Bronze, we enacted a Human Rights Commission that for the first time at that time, 22 years ago, involved reaching out and covering with human rights those in the LGBTQ community. So this is a continuation of a policy over an extended period of time that does have support on both sides of the aisle. I'd like to invite two members of the Westchester County Board of Legislators to share their thoughts on this day, and then we will be jointly proclaiming this day on behalf of the county. First, I'm going to invite County Legislator Erica Lang Pierce, who represents the northeastern corner of the county, Bedford, North Salem, Lewisboro, Pound Ridge, Mount Kisco, part of Somers. I know I sound like a Metro North conductor, but she has a large swath of the county, and she is the Board of Legislators liaison to the LGBTQ Advisory Board. Legislator Erica Pierce.
Thank you, and it's great for me to have so many residents of my district here in the House today. Today is International Trans Visibility Day, a day to celebrate and embrace the transgender community. And so while I would much prefer to be here today, sharing with you all the amazing achievements and contributions of our transgender family members, and there are so very many great stories to share, we are instead here because we know from the comments made earlier that we are awash in a despicable increase in hate speech. Physical attacks, books being pulled from libraries, an increase in using policy as another means of attack, especially bills which try to get between a person and their doctor. We hear from the Office for Victims of Crime, statistics documenting transgender people's experience of violence, including sexual violence, indicate shockingly high levels of abuse and assault. 1 in 2 transgender individuals are sexually abused or assaulted at some point in their lives. This indicates that the majority of transgender individuals are living with the aftermath of trauma and the fear of possible repeat victimization. And that doesn't include the impacts of hate speech or low-level traumas. We recently held a health committee meeting on the impacts of these increased attacks because these attacks are a public health crisis, and the impacts they are having on our trans communities are a true crisis. So instead of here to tell great stories, I, along with my colleagues, are here on Trans Visibility Day, along with this executive order, to say not only that we see you and we appreciate you, whether you are making enormous contributions or simply living your life. In Westchester, we treat our neighbors with kindness, with respect, and yes, with love. And so with this, I wish you all a happy Trans Visibility Day.
Thank you, Legislator Erica Pierce. And now I'd like to invite Legislator Catherine Parker, who is from Rye, represents Larchmont, Mamaroneck, Rye, and a portion of Harrison.
Thank you, County Executive. I am very happy to be here today to celebrate the trans community in Westchester. And we, as Westchester residents, are overwhelmingly inclusive. I just want to touch upon, though, I wasn't expecting to speak today, but I also wasn't expecting a few other things that I was going to have to weigh in this week. Like when somebody contacted me this week with concern about the shooting in Nashville and the fact that it was a transgender person. And I went to look up statistics. Thank goodness I have good friends like Kristen Browdy, who was involved with our LGBTQ advisory board, who had directed me to the gun violence archives, that out of the 4,169 shootings since January 1, 2014, exactly 3 of those were by people that were transgender, less than 0.7%. I have to learn that now because somebody has reached out with concern that quote-unquote behavior-altering drugs are causing these kind of things to happen. This is what we have to fight against. I commend our county executive for always being a voice for all of us, speaking to the inclusivity that is Westchester. I am very grateful for our partnership in this, and I will go on to say I'm grateful to everybody in this room for the work that you are doing with the LGBT. Does that happen to you as frequently as it happens to me? Okay. With the LGBTQIA community. Such important work, and again, it is the work that you are doing. It really helps those of us in elected office formulate a plan and help to, again, send a very strong message. We are all Westchester, and we are very, very pleased to celebrate you. Thank you.
Now, on behalf of the legislative and the executive branch working together, we have a proclamation that does recognize and proclaim today as Transgender Day of Visibility from March 31st. And I'd like to ask my legislative colleagues and Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins to present this to Judy Troilo, who is the Executive Director of the Loft. Judy, please accept this.
Oh my! May I get in here?
Yes, absolutely. We all want you in the photographs. We all want you in the photographs. Yeah.
Thank you. I I'm honored to be here, and it's so wonderful to see everyone here today. We all work together in Westchester under the leadership of George Latimer, and with a wonderful board of legislators. I feel that our community is indeed seen and is indeed appreciated. I'm grateful for this wonderful proclamation, and I accept it on behalf of everybody. Thank you. Thank you, George, for being a true ally to our community. And, you know, I was thinking recently about how lucky we are to live in Westchester. There's so much hate in the world today. And yes, indeed, there is hate in Westchester, but we have a county executive and a board of legislators that don't tolerate it. So thank you very much for your support, and have a good weekend, everybody.
Now, Judy, I want to point out that the Board of Legislators also has a proclamation, and they have a particular power in the legislature that I do not have as county executive. When they proclaim a day, they can get it put up on the Jumbotron in front of the county center.
Where's the Jumbotron?
Well, where is it when you need it? No, it's right in front of the county center. But I believe Erica will let you know on Monday, whenever it's going to be put up on the Jumbotron. It's interesting, just twist. When I served in the state legislature, only the governor could proclaim something. The legislators could not. So now I come here as county executive. The county executive cannot proclaim. It's the legislature that proclaims. So wrong place, wrong time. But it does show that there is an across-the-board commitment and appreciation for what you do. I'm about to sign next an executive order, which I alluded to as one of a series of executive orders that we are issuing, which has the force of impact within the government of Westchester County, so that all of our departments and our boards and commissions operate within the framework of fighting any discriminatory efforts. We've issued 2 executive orders already. We have more of them coming, and we intend to have one for each of the different areas, constituencies in the county that have been subject to prejudice directed at them. And we hope that this is a statement of principle and policy. We hope it will drive the way we operate as a county government in all of our actions and activities. And I would point out, and I've said this a couple times before, you know, I'm fortunately or unfortunately part of every majority group in the society. I am an old, white man, straight, right-handed, Christian, you name it, I'm in all those majority groups. But what I've seen over the years is that even people within some of those demographic groups can trace back to discrimination. It is my grandparent and great-grandparent levels from Ireland and Italy that could describe what prejudice was against Italian immigrants and Irish immigrants when they came. They didn't come at the same time. They came in different generations. And what it tells me is the universality of prejudice, that people constantly want to divide us into some demographic component pieces instead of accepting our common humanity. We are all here together in all of our different variations, and the acceptance of those variations is how we as brothers and sisters move the society forward. When there was a time where those individuals, Irish, Italian, Catholics, were eliminated and that barrier dropped, America became stronger for it. When we understood that women had to have the right to vote and needed to be able to go to college and participate in the workforce to a greater extent. When we ended chattel slavery, and it took 100 years until we could end, to the best extent we could, Jim Crow laws. In every one of those barriers dropping, and we have more barriers to drop, we go back to something seminal that Dr. Martin Luther King said. Excuse my voice, you know, croak a frog in here. No water today. Excuse me. He said that you should judge a person not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And what we celebrate today is the recognition of the content of the character of the individual, not how they present to who they love. That's essential to this country moving forward, and certainly this county moving forward. With that thought in mind and a croaky throat, excuse me. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Thank you, Ken. If you remember the movie The Sting, Robert Redford was told by Paul Newman, always use gin, they'll never know when you cut it. That was water. but to put a light piece of this. But the serious point is that I'll be signing the executive order, and as we generally do, we like to symbolically give out pens, so I'm going to provide one pen to Judy, and one to Joanne, and one to Erica for her liaison and leadership with the board.
Right now, will we save that for the picture? No?
You're gonna have to stand.
Hey, come on.
Okay.
We're gonna surround them. Come on.
No man signs alone.
There we go.
This is Executive Order number 3 for 2023. It highlights I'm not going to read all of it. It highlights Westchester County's community of residents and commitment to those who fall in the LGBTQIA plus community, and asserts that we want to deal with each one of these individuals to push back against any threats of violence or any types of systemic forms of discrimination based on sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, any of these different areas, and that what we look forward to do with this executive order is to identify that the policy of non-discrimination with this community is in effect at all county departments, agencies, boards, commissions, and officials, and we intend to enforce this through our Human Rights Commission and through the laws of the state of New York as well as of Westchester County. So this is dated on the 31st day of the month of March. And by my signature and the good wishes of the people of Westchester County who have given me the authority to sign this for a little while longer, 2 years, 9 months, who's counting? We now have an official executive order policy of Westchester County. Thank you, ladies. I'm going to ask my colleague Ken Jenkins to close out our efforts today. Ken, if you would, please. Mr. Biden.
Well, first, it's certainly for an honor for all of us today, specifically on this International Day to recognize for transgender visibility, to sign this executive order, which is so critically important to making sure, as everyone has said today, that we see everyone and we're recognizing and supporting our family in the transgender community to make sure that everyone recognizes in Westchester, it starts with we, and that means everyone. Thanks again, and happy International Transgender Day of Visibility.